What's up, everyone? Back for another beer mail, and today I will be showing you the two beers that were recently sent to me by the Lakefront Brewery, and they are out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So huge thanks to them for these two beers. In the description box, I'll post a link to their website along with their other social media pages. So about a month ago, I sent them a message via Instagram because I was kind of curious about the distro of both of these beers. They have a beer finder on their website, and it showed the this beer right here probably gets distro about 3.5 hours round trip away from me in Erie, Pennsylvania. So that was cool. But this beer right here, I didn't see it anywhere nearby. So I was curious if they had a little bit more of an exact distro for these beers and if they could provide that, because if I could take a day trip to grab these beers, or maybe have a fellow beer tuber, maybe viewer of the channel do so, and we could do a beer mail exchange, that would be awesome. But they went above and beyond, and they decided that they were just going to send me both beers. So I can't thank them enough for the generosity. Really didn't expect that, honestly. I just wanted to make a day trip and grab some of their beers, specifically these two, because with the upcoming 5th annual 10 Days of Pumpkin on my channel at the end of October, I believe that's going to start October 22nd, I have been trying to grab some beers that I've been wanting to try for a long time. And I've heard good things about these beers, over 2 or 3 years ago. So I really wanted to try them out and have them a part of the 10 Days of Pumpkin, but they don't get distribution in my area. How else am I supposed to get them? So the fact that they were, they offered to send them my way, great. But what's even better is I did let them know that they're going to send the beers my way, but I'm going to be honest with my reviews. And I'm always transparent and honest with my reviews. If I don't like something, I don't like it. If I love it, I love it. And to their credit, they ended up sending them anyway, so they're cool with it. And another thing is, I still can't believe anybody would send me beer. I'm just a normal person reviewing beer on YouTube. The fact that they sent me these two, Hop Butcher sends me, a beer mail every 6 to 8 weeks. There's been a ton of awesome and generous viewers and other beer tubers who have sent me beer. It blows me away. So anyway, let's go over these beers real quick. Let's first show the swag they sent me. And the reason I didn't do like an actual unboxing is this showed up right before I was heading out for the 2022 Beer Tuber Palooza, and I didn't want it to sit there, all weekend. So I actually opened it up, took the beers out, and put them in the fridge so they would keep, because I already knew what they were sending me. Now the swag and that whatnot, but I wanted to make sure the beers survived and were properly chilled and everything, as opposed to just guessing it. Don't leave it to the guesswork. Anyway, so really cool little pamphlet here, a little bit of information about the brewery, and then on the other side it shows their beer is year-round, seasonals, barrel-aged, the whole nine. If I'm ever in Milwaukee or in Wisconsin in general, I'll definitely check out the brewery. I thought that's pretty cool. They have a little bit information here about their tour, America's Favorite Brewery Tour. And then some information on the back about it. Pretty cool stuff overall. They also sent me 2 stickers here. So we have their Lakefront Brewery sticker. And then one of the 2 beers, they have stickers for that, is the Imperial Pumpkin Ale. So really awesome stuff, if we're being honest here. I think that's fantastic. But the star of the shows are the beers. So the first one is a pumpkin lager. And what I like about this beer is the fact that it is a lager. You don't see too many pumpkin lagers. You see a lot of pumpkin ales, not lagers. The only other one that I think I had was the Jack's Abbey Pumpkin Crop Lager. Pretty solid. So this is a lager brewed with real pumpkin and spices, contains cinnamon, allspice, ginger, nutmeg, cloves, and mace. 6.1% alcohol by volume. Best by date of January 28th of 2023. So yeah, pretty cool overall. I enjoy this. I will also touch more on it in the review, but they also said to me when we were chatting on Instagram that this is actually, as of right now, the longest running pumpkin beer post-Prohibition. So the style was kind of brought back by Buffalo Bills out in California back in the mid-'80s. I think it was 85. And unfortunately, they have closed their doors back in June. They announced they were going to close the brewery. Now, I don't know if they brewed a batch of pumpkin ale this year, their Buffalo Bills pumpkin ale or not. But once that beer goes away, this will be the longest running pumpkin beer here in the U.S. I believe this first came out in 87 or 88, I believe they said. So the history of this beer is pretty fantastic, if you think about it. And the fact that it's a lager, makes me even more excited. So I can't wait to get into this beer. I'm also going to bookend the 10 Days of Pumpkin. This will be the first beer that I review, and this will be the last. So it'll be bookended with Lakefront beers. Next, we have the star of the show, in my opinion. This is their barrel-aged, brandy barrel-aged pumpkin imperial ale. So it's basically an ale brewed with pumpkin and spices with vanilla added and aged in brandy barrels. Contains cinnamon, allspice, ginger, nutmeg, cloves, and mace. So it's basically the same as this beer in terms of the spices, but it's an ale. They add vanilla and they barrel age it in brandy barrels. This one comes in at 10.7% alcohol by volume. This was bottled on June 2nd of 2022. So right now, where it's about 3.5 months old, but something like this should be able to last. Maybe the spices die off a little bit, but we'll see. I am super pumped for this one. I cannot wait to get in this one. I've mentioned before how much I love like brandy barrel aged stuff, cognac barrel aged. I just love something different than bourbon, even rum. So that just sounds unique and fun to me, and I cannot wait to get into both of these beers. So if anybody out there has had either of these beers or both these beers, let me know what you thought about them. I like that they're so vastly different. It's like, hey, let's make a sessionable pumpkin lager. You have a lager, you have some pumpkin and pumpkin spices. Pretty awesome from that aspect. But then on the other end of the spectrum, you have an almost 11% brandy barrel-aged imperial pumpkin ale with vanilla. Like, it's a tale of two beers, and that's what I think the beauty of these two are. Again, I'm going to be honest with my reviews, but listen, there are some just okay. The thing, I've always said this about pumpkin beers, for every like good pumpkin beer, you got to weed through like 4 or 5 just bad ones. Or I shouldn't even say bad ones that are just like, okay, right? But when you get a good pumpkin beer, I think it's delicious personally. So I'm hoping that these both are delicious. If I had to guess, I'm gonna like this one more, but I'm curious to see how like sessionable this is. Maybe it'll be a very sessionable pumpkin beer, which you don't see all that much because sometimes the spices are too much. So anyway, I'm going to shut it down. Once again, huge thanks to Lakefront for these two beers. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer mail kind of unboxing. Not really, but showcase. I like to say showcase. So anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by. Till the next one. Cheers.